Next up is the entryway to the cathedral itself. On the steps there is a platform pointing southwards that has the execution block on it. This execution block looks very much like a dark altar covered in dried blood, and this is where the spider was cleaved in half by the flesh golem before it retired back into the cathedral through the front double doors. There's nothing obstructing the players from entering this way as well. The doors are heavy, but there's nothing really stopping the players. These doors lead into a vestibule, a small room at the entranceway of the cathedral that is very much white marble and bone colored, though there are a lot of crimson elements, like blood red elements, like the carpet on the floor, like the giant red door in the front on the northern wall, and there are also tapestries hanging in the room that are also dark crimson colored. There are 4 statues in this room that are very clearly of Merovingian make, so it's safe to assume if the players visited the Marotorium that these are actually constructs that are simply stationary at this time. They are much bulkier and larger and heftier than the ones in the Marotorium, since these are of a kind of personal royal guard of the Merovingian female who was on the balcony with the Celadon queen. They are not going to attack the players unless the players attack them first, or unless they are activated due to certain aspects of this vestibule. And that comes to the red door on the north wall. The red door has some sculptures on it, some carvings on it, that depict the Celadon queen looking upwards and holding her arms out, almost like she's holding some giant invisible ball or something. In the middle of the door there is a kind of lock mechanism that looks very much like an open eye, where the iris kind of tightens and loosens based on how close the players get to the door, and once they get close enough to read runes on it and any kind of things of that nature or investigate it, it's going to bellow out psychically with abyssal to the players the words, "As the spirit decays," and the players ought to know to answer to it in abyssal, "Behold my mortal flesh." This is something that the players will have hard time simply guessing if the Alkilith in the murder basement opened the gate without them uttering these words. There's no way really that the players didn't encounter the Book of Lore in the study room, because without going into the study room they wouldn't have gotten the key that opened the door where the Alkilith was. But there is a chance that they never uttered these words. If they go through the Book of Lore, they will find the spot where the warlock made his notes, where he originally made the simple note of Alkilith of Molor, "Behold my mortal flesh," whereas in the book the full sentence is, "As the spirit decays, behold my mortal flesh." And this is something that if the players can't figure out, they can always try and hide and see if the monks come out and what the monks say to the door to get it open, because this is something they say every time they go in and out of this room. And if they have to wait all the way until the next communion, they can hang around in the village and spend time with the arachnids, and the time will go rather smoothly and without incident. Oh, I nearly forgot. The constructs, they use the stats of Helmed Horrors from the Monster Manual. If the players say the wrong words to the door, or if they try to pick it with thieves' tools, one of these constructs is going to activate and fight them. They are going to activate one at a time every time the players fail at opening the door, and if they go through all of them, the final way the door is going to react is that it's going to open, but the flesh golem is going to be on the other side and it's going to attack the players, but at least the door is going to be open.